Hello and welcome to 19 O'Clock News, a Kodocha podcast. My name is Mahou Shoujo M, also known as Daily Kodocha. And today I am joined by my co-host,
That Kodocha Girl, also known as TKG, Ari, and we have a special guest today, Hayden.
Hi.
welcome.
It's nice to be
So,
here.
Okay.
Today we are going to talk a little bit about Akitaro Daichi, the director of the Kodocha anime. We're going to talk about kind of his take on Kodocha, how it differs from the manga. So Hayden, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers?
Well, I'm Hayden, the historian on some platforms. I think I still go by Hayden Loves Anime, which is my old name on some others. But no one knew how to spell that, so I was like, okay, I need to get something that people actually know how to spell for, like SEO and stuff like that. I make YouTube videos. I've made many on popular shoujo works like Fruits Basket, Precure. Made one about Sailor Moon and its inspiration from Goldfish Warning. I like that one. I'm working on one right now, which I have not publicly disclosed what it is, but it's going to be very, very long. I've been working on it for almost 2 years now, which is not it's not great to think about, but I'll keep working on it until I'm happy with it, which hopefully I can get it out by the end of the year, roughly. Then I also do fan subbing. I've been fan subbing Himitsu no Ako-chan, which is the first magical girl manga, the second magical girl anime ever made. I've also done Hanako-san, which is like a short horror anthology thing, which is pretty cool. Did that on the side. I plan on covering some more shows in the future. Right now, Akko is on hiatus because of work and being busy, but it will be finished eventually someday. I think those are like my main two avenues of creative work. I'm also like a video editor. I see myself more as a video editor than anything. I don't see myself as a fantastic writer, but I write in order to edit things that I think look cool, basically. And that's why I make videos.
Nice. I mean, it's kind of cool because I think a lot of people are probably the opposite. You know, the words come first and then the video editing is sort of a complement to that. So it's kind of fun to hear that your process is the reverse.
Yeah, I've heard that from a number of people before. I think Kamimashita told me that when we were recording the r/anime awards nominations. And, everyone has their own process and everything like that. I basically just started video editing when I was a teenager. I never really like wrote stuff, and I'm still not really very interested in creative writing. I mostly enjoy trying to tell stories that have already been told or analyze things and give like my own sort of perspective about it. But mostly I enjoy analyzing other people's work and discussing what went into creating like a certain series.
The next thing we wanted to do is ask like how you found Kodocha A and what keeps you coming back.
How I found Kodocha? I don't remember. I mean, oftentimes I like to browse every single like season of anime in history, or like every genre ever made.
Okay.
Casually as you do.
Small things.
And that's how you just find out about a lot of things. I don't know. What I can say is I did not find Kodocha through. I feel like nowadays, you see like Sana rapping clips on TikTok or YouTube. Like that's a popular way of getting into it. That was never really my avenue of getting into it. I don't know. Like I know about a lot of series that I haven't actually seen yet, because I try to be tapped into what exists throughout history. And
Mm-hmm.
Kodocha just happened to be one of them. I don't really have a lot of rhyme or reason for me watching things in general. There are some titles like I still haven't seen or read Nana, um,
Mm.
which you can say what you want about that, but I like having a stash of series that I know I will really like, and so I save them for a special opportunity. And Nana, for example, is one of those. I don't
Mm.
know if Kodocha was one of those, but either way, like I got around to watching it eventually, and I did really enjoy it. Um, I feel like my experience was probably pretty similar to a lot of people's experience. Oh wow, the first half is really amazing. Oh wow, the second half sure has a lot of not amazing arcs in it. But it was really good overall. I have
Mm.
rewatched it once or twice after that. I group watched it once with my own server, and we all really enjoyed it. I don't know. It's a series that I really enjoy. Um, Maybe not quite as much as you guys do, but I do still really like it. I haven't finished the manga yet, but I think I do actually prefer the manga overall. I
And
will
that's
say.
just the correct opinion to have, honestly.
I
Um,
agree.
However, and I guess this ties into what this episode is going to sort of be about, I like that the anime is different and that it gives me a different experience. I
hmm.
wouldn't want the anime to just be a copy of the manga. Like, if they made a remake or reboot of Kodocha and made it more faithful to the manga, I certainly wouldn't complain about it in modern day. Like it can exist on its own, and I know that you guys at least really want that. But personally, I want the anime of pretty much every series to be like pretty different from the manga because I just want like different experiences. If I really enjoy the anime of something, I want to have a different experience reading the manga. Recently, I read Chobits,
Mm.
and Chobits is pretty different from anime to manga. And
Hmm.
like the anime is in my top five of all time. I think the manga is honestly like quite a bit better.
Mm.
It didn't quite leave the same visceral emotional impact on me, but I feel like uh, it just gave me so much to look into when I was reading it. I was constantly like theorizing about certain things, and usually um, the stuff that I would theorize about would come true later on. Like I would predict it, but it's not like, oh, that's predictable. That's boring.
Hmm.
Like I was really excited because like it was going the way that I wanted it to,
Hmm.
and that was a really incredible experience for me. Whereas something that is more close to it, I feel like I wouldn't have the same excitement about. Whether it's like you watch the anime first and then you read the manga or vice versa, if they're different, they give you two different experiences and then you get to enjoy the same show, but for different reasons both times. And then you just, you have two cakes.
Hmm. That's
And
a nice way of thinking
and
about it.
Kodocha is definitely like a great example of that, where the anime is very like comedically focused. Akitaro Daichi is obviously like one of the best people in the industry when it comes to making comedy anime. I'd say like probably the best one. And he's also one of the best people at making like really dark and dramatic stuff. So Kodocha is like a perfect fit for him.
Mm. Yeah, it's the two cakes. It's a nice way of thinking about it. 'Cause I think for me like if I'm thinking about the two cakes, like the manga is like one of those like really intricate, beautiful cakes where you're just like, God, I almost feel bad eating it because it's so beautiful and like perfect and they've spent so much time on this. And the anime to me is just like 50 Twinkies. Both are good, but they are very different. um, and I say that as a lover of snack cakes. That's not a drag. Um, like I'm a hostess girly. So, but they're just so different. So it's an interesting perspective because I mean, I'm guilty, I think, of, I want a Fruits Basket 2019 for Kodocha. That's my dream.
Yeah,
I,
and
I
I
think a lot of
definitely
people want that for a lot of different series. Give everything the Full Metal Alchemist like Brotherhood treatment.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Sailor Moon Crystal. Like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel very mixed about
Mew
Sailor
Mew
Moon
Mew.
Crystal.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah, because like chances are, if you do get that remake, you're gonna get a Sailor Moon Crystal where it looks like shit, and then like everything that like was fun about Sailor Moon, which is the anime original episodes and the incredibly talented staff, like just kind of doing whatever they want, like all of that is gone. You realize that wow, Sailor Moon is not actually like all that interesting. Damn.
oh, hard disagree, but um I'm like, and that's one of those things too, like another I'm looking at the books on my shelf, which is part of why it's like on my mind. I love the Princess Diaries books. I love the Princess Diaries movie with Anne Hathaway from like 2001. Those are completely separate entities. They have nothing to do with each other. The grandma in the Princess Diaries books is a frequently drunk Chanel number 5 sidecar drinking cigarette smoking bitch, and then not Julie Andrews basically at all.
Wow,
And
really?
so, oh yeah, the books are honestly, I love the books so much, but they are like so different from the movie. And so I really kind of had to make my peace when I read those books with like, oh wow, there's this movie from my childhood that I really love, but these books are a completely different thing, and
Why
we
is
can
it
hold
always that
both.
like the book version of something is like so much darker?
Hey, with the Disney adaptation, couldn't tell you. But yeah.
Oh wow, I can't wait to read The Little Mermaid.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Hope you like stabbing and things dissolving.
I guess it's just easier to get stuff like published in a book format, which I guess is also the reason why a lot of anime, for example, gets toned down in comparison.
Yes. I feel like that
With
also has to do
a
with
lot of the
time
time.
slot they get with their adaptation as well. Tsubasa
Yeah, I was
Chronicles is a
gonna
great
say.
example of this. Like they got the kiddie time slot, and so they had to take out like most of the stuff for the
I
actual
have a
show.
Yeah,
conspiracy theory too that like I feel like more people, especially nowadays, are going to watch things rather than read. So they have to make things more digestible for the general public. And maybe that's another reason why things are so toned down sometimes.
I mean, that's probably true. I wouldn't be surprised. That's also kind of why I think some like shonen in particular tend to run like a zillion episodes, just to keep things so that people can
I feel like it's
understand
kind
an
of
arc.
flipped in recent years because you have shonen now being like Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen being a bit more like violent than what they like used to make more than 20 years
That's true.
ago.
That's
So I feel
true.
like it's kind of flipped, honestly.
Yeah,
And
it's
there's like
definitely
more people. There's more people reading manga, but also more people watching anime. So there's just more people in the space in general.
that is very true. Which in general I think has been a good thing. I was at a Barnes and Noble yesterday, like, wow, my 11-year-old self would have killed for this. What was once like maybe half of one shelf is now like a whole wall of just like endless titles, plenty of copies, special editions. Like,
Isn't that something that people complain about as well? Like, for context, I'm not from the US, but like,
mm,
I swear to God, I hear so many people now being like, oh, Barnes and Nobles, like, it's just a manga store at this point. And I'm like, just a manga store? I fucking wish we'd had this.
I really, truly though, like, yeah, no, people do complain
Yeah.
about it, and it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I just yeah, it's so the access is so much. I mean, and with streaming too, like we've had this conversation on the podcast before, so I'll try not to like repeat myself too much, but just accessing anime in general has gotten so much easier. I'm really happy for people generally. I'm glad that people aren't having to, for the most part, they don't have to torrent. They don't have to like dig for things, that they're easily available. At the same time, I think it's made people a little entitled because of that ease of access.
And this
Um,
is also probably people who are younger who don't remember the dark
they weren't
ages.
there. They weren't there for if I'd wanted to own all of the Kodocha DVDs, like in 2006, 2007, that would have cost over $1,000. It was
I'm a
30 bucks
bit
a
younger
pop.
than you guys, but I feel like that sort of aversion towards piracy has like always been a thing among some people who are
Mm-hmm.
like support always. And I'm like, I am supporting. I mean, I don't have pictures of my room to show right now, but I have literally a fucking trillion figures everywhere. I don't have a bunch of manga volumes. I have a bit of manga, but you know, bunch of books, bunch of DVDs. Like I am
Mm-hmm.
uh I like owning things. I like I don't I don't want to come off as like a you know consumer type or anything like that, but I like surrounding myself with things that I like. It makes me
Yeah.
feel good. Yeah, I have to spend money on it. Yeah, capitalism, whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, you support the things you want to see more of, or
Yes.
you know, you just like the series.
You know, it's crazy you said that. I literally said the same statement today. I went to the grocery store with my husband today, and we were going to the digital circus aisle. Well, where it
I
is.
love that that's an aisle for you now. That's so great.
Yes. And, you know, they never have anything because it's a popular show. You know, people are buying up the blind boxes. They never have any blind boxes. And but we go check anyway because, you know,
It could
really
happen.
love the show. And
Today
I
could be
was
the
saying,
day.
you know, I like having I like having these things in our house. Like I know they're not practical, but I like having them because I like being surrounded by things that make me happy and make me think of the show or give me these pleasant feelings because life is just too short to sit in a dark room with some generic flower painting in the corner, you know?
Hard
You're
agree.
telling me you don't want an all white apartment with like the most minimalist like furniture you can think of?
Yeah, no.
With home goods prints adorning your walls.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Literally looking like an insane asylum.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like I've been to people's houses where it looks like that and I just don't get it. Like,
No.
how do you live like this? How do you
I
live
will say,
without an anime figure in the room?
when I move out, I would like to dedicate at least like a corner or like a little room to something that is more minimal because that makes like filming stuff a lot easier. Because like
Mm-hmm.
uh again, I have anime posters literally on every single wall. Like I struggle to find the space to put literally anything in my room at this point. And you know, there's certainly an aesthetic to it uh that people appreciate anytime I do post pictures of my room. The rare times that I do, like it gains a lot of really positive traction from people. Um, but I do usually have to like move to some other place of the house if I want to try to record something, you know, more practical if I need the space for it. So definitely would like some recording space when I move out eventually, which you know that's going to be a nightmare too, having to move all of this fucking shit. I'm not looking
Mm-hmm.
forward to that, but I'll worry about it when I have to worry about it.
But
Yeah.
no, I remember when we first became friends. This was a couple years ago. And you had, I think you have to be a member of your Patreon now to watch it, but you had this video of your collection, and it just, I remember my mind was blown when I watched that video. Like, that was the
Oh
coolest
yeah,
collection video I think I've ever seen. And,
I appreciate it.
you know, I'm not,
That was a mess to make, by the way. Like, the only reason I have those older videos paywalled is because that's when I like identified as male, and I don't feel entirely comfortable having those up still. I
Mhm.
think at least in the I made a video about like Yu-Gi-Oh several years ago, where I explicitly call myself like a guy or like a boy or whatever like that. I identify as non-binary for anyone watching. Anyway, that aside, making that video was a fucking mess because like I wanted to post it on my birthday. So I had to like really rush to make it, like write, record, film everything. The lighting in that video is completely dog shit. But I made it in a couple days. I'm still happy with that video. I'm still happy with all of my old videos. I think they all have their own little like reason to exist. I've never really regretted making a video in my life. Maybe the Hananoi one. I don't like that one. Yeah, it got some good reception too. I've been thinking about maybe doing another one because it has been a while and I've accumulated a lot more since. But I don't know. I don't really. It's not that I don't enjoy like taking pictures of my room. It's more that I don't like being defined by something that isn't like me as a person. So like when it comes to like gender, um, I don't want people to see me as like male, female, whatever. Like I want people to see me for being me. And when it comes to like taking pictures of my room, I don't want people to get the impression that because like I see myself as a normie, or at least like that's how I like to be seen. I don't want to be seen as someone special or someone like a hardcore like otaku type. I like to keep it a bit more on the down low, which may seem like contradictory because I make literally videos about history and I have like my own little library for books containing a bunch of interviews and stuff like that with staff and everything like that. But it's all stuff that I want to try to act very normal about. And I feel like a lot of people get the impression that, if you have a crazy room, you're like a maniac.
You don't want to be performative about it.
I guess that is one way of putting it. Yeah.
No, because I know that some people online can like sometimes be like, "Hey, I have this," just to kind of get brownie points from other people. And no,
Yeah.
I think I think I get what you're trying to
I
say.
will only do that if I see someone else who is like under my power level, like bragging, like being all Dunning-Kruger about something. Like, oh, let me show you. You don't know fucking shit. Like,
I'll be
I'll teach
honest.
people a lesson.
I'll be
But when it
honest.
comes to just
I low-key do this with Kodocha, not gonna lie. Like I've had people
yeah.
like post these like stupid ass takes on Twitter and like I gotta make this person look like an idiot. I'm sorry. I gotta
It feels good.
retweet this trash.
Kexi actually yesterday put out a video about LARPing. I haven't finished it yet because YouTube compression completely fucked the video, and I wanted to watch it in good quality, so I had him send it to me. But that's like a big thing now too, apparently. Which like that's all circular because the thing about the anime community is that people constantly funnel in and out of the community, which makes the overall like knowledge and power level of the community at large pretty low, because it's a lot of people coming in and not really understanding the culture. But then you also have a lot of people in that sort of in the middle of that bell curve acting as the quote unquote veterans. Like those are the people who will call out others for, I don't know, like LARPing, like, oh, you haven't even fucking seen Serial Experiments Lane, you have figures of it, or like some dumb bullshit like that. And like the thing about that is no one cares if you've actually been around for a long time. Like, oh, people are getting into this, neat, cool, whatever.
Yep.
But there's a really obnoxious sort of mentality going on that already like this has always been a thing, but like to me it's giving like, oh, name 3 Nirvana songs, name 3 Metallica songs. It's like, what are we doing? Are we still doing this shit in the big 26? Like, come on.
There has
Let people
always
discover
been.
things at their own pace, and yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna be cringe, like discovering other facets of a fandom or a series or whatever it may be, but it's for them to learn and sometimes grow out of at their own pace, but you don't really need to be a dick about it.
Yeah, I
Besides, you
mean,
probably don't know shit anyway.
real. I also just like there's very much a like let people like things. Like if somebody's like taking an interest in anime and like they are watching and enjoying something, great. I generally and genuinely am not going to be like, oh, okay, well, you're not like really an anime fan unless, because like that's the attitude that like was so prominent when I was a young person. um, and
Yeah.
like, oh, it's like, oh, you like anime, but you only like the stupid girly stuff. You're not a
Oh,
real
yeah,
anime
I
fan unless you like
I heard that with
Cowboy
gaming.
Bebop and
Yeah.
Evangelion and Samurai
Oh my
Champloo and
god.
like God, yeah, it was like, and I'm like, I'm just over here with
And
my
then you hear
Tokyo
that
Mew
and
Mew
you're like, okay, like maybe
volumes,
these series
minding
are
my
good,
business.
whatever. I'm not gonna check out like Samurai Champloo because you like called me an idiot for
Kind of,
liking, whatever.
that's
I
another thing too. I'm
remember
like, I also like I've spent like the last like several years I've been like, okay, maybe like time to get back to the roots, right? Like let's watch some of these like critically acclaimed, like very popular older series. And I've been like, wow, some of these aren't very good to me.
yeah.
Um, so I find
No,
it a little, pretentious. Some of these
Boy, do I
series.
know it. I
Uh,
I have a fucking bone to pick with the mecha genre, like as a
mm,
whole.
yeah.
Don't need to be getting into that, but
I know that's another can of worms.
Mazinger Z fucking sucks. It's dog shit. I don't care. Like, stop pretending it's good.
Yeah.
no,
And it's
I
like, and if you don't think it's good, people are like, oh, you're not deep or you don't get it. And it's like, no, this might just not.
it's not for you.
It's funny because, like, in the example of mecha anime, I'm watching Mazinger as someone who has seen like a good amount of mecha. Like, I haven't seen
Mhm.
literally every show. I haven't seen every Gundam and every Tomino directed show, but like, I haven't seen a lot of Gundam. I've seen a bunch of other Tomino shows like Ideon and Zambot 3. So I'm coming into this with like a very different sort of perspective, something that a lot of mecha fans don't even have. And so, like, I'm watching Mazinger and I'm like, this fucking sucks. It sucks because it barely has any themes or like messages that isn't like, it feels like a series that was made like for by and for conservatives a lot of the time. Like, it's just really shitty towards women a lot of the
Mhm.
time, and it just makes me facepalm. There are
Yeah.
some episodes that are really good because it was handled by good like episode directors and animators and people working on it, but like, it's not good because it's Mazinger Z. It's good because it's a good episode director like making a good episode, like in spite of using a shitty like template.
Yeah.
I've only seen Evangelion, so unfortunately, I don't
I
really
think that's the only
know.
one you really need.
I was
Really,
gonna say it's the
I
only one
Evangelion,
I've
doubt
seen
Gurren
too,
that.
I think.
Lagann. I haven't seen every single mecha. I'm sure Turn A Gundam is amazing, but the more I watch, and like some of these aren't even terrible. It's just like you have to kind of be a mecha fan to like really get into, I don't know, Edion. It's not as immediately appealing as Evangelion, where like you can watch Evangelion as pretty much anyone and get it because the characters and everything is really good. And that's not to, completely discredit Ideon. It's just a much harder sell because Evangelion is 26 episodes. Ideon is like almost 40, and there's just a lot more bullshit in it that most people don't have the patience for.
I feel like
Yeah.
you're gonna get us canceled in the anime community for all this.
I mean,
Yeah, because I've fucking seen more anime than them, and they don't fucking know.
it's like I'm just like I don't. If the anime community cancels us, I'm like, okay, I already am kind of a misandrist when it comes to shonen. Like,
Oh,
who
I was
cares?
half
Like,
joking. You're good. I
I'm like,
really don't care.
I'm probably canceled enough already. Like, the topic of this episode is Akitaro Daichi. I made that Fruits Basket video where I debunk a very popular rumor that Natsuki Takaya, the author of Fruits Basket, like really hated the anime adaptation, which, you know, the only like credence to that being true is something that Justin Sudeikis said like 16 years ago in a
mm,
forum. And, that's just something where it's like, I heard this from someone, and not to discredit him or anything like that, because he is an industry person.
mm-hmm,
Um, but literally the only actual, like, sort of tangible proof that that might be the case in like modern day is that Natsuki Takaya and Akitaro Daichi do not follow each other on Twitter. Daichi does follow Julieta Suzuki, who is the author of Kami-sama Kiss, on
mm-hmm.
Twitter. They both follow each other.
It makes me think of like, as far as I know, Miho Abana and Akitaro Daichi follow each other. And I've always suspected that she didn't like the direction that Kodocha was going, but I feel like I found so much conflicting information with that. Like I can't tell
Mm-hmm.
if she didn't like it or because like there's an interview, I think it's on one of the DVDs where Daichi's doing an interview and he's talking about like, oh well, she stopped talking to us once we got to the Takashi arc. Like, but I don't know. It's weird. And I've
Yeah.
seen magazine articles contradicting this.
Well,
Well,
they're
it's also
both
like
like
if
really close friends. Like,
Mhm.
if anything, she was just busy, and they were doing their own thing. That's how I interpret things.
it's also like culturally are like any mangaka is really going to publicly come out and say they don't like their anime adaptation. Probably not. Just because of you know the way the industry kind of works and the how power dynamics work over there. I think even if that were like if even if we did have like concrete evidence, it would be like more hearsay than anything.
Yeah. Going back to what I was going to say about Fruits Basket is, if it is true that she doesn't like the 2001 Fruits Basket series, it's something where like it was made and then she watched it and then she didn't like it. It was not like she disliked it on principle or anything like that when it was being
Mm-hmm.
made, because she was in the hospital when it was being made,
Mm-hmm.
and the anime was being produced as a sort of tribute to her. And I think it had like a production cycle of 9 months or something like that.
Yeah,
If memory serves
is
correctly.
because when
So
she had that hiatus from her hand surgery, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
which even then, like, she was still playing video games in the hospital, like beating multiple like long RPGs and everything
yeah.
like that too. So it's not like she was just completely bedridden, couldn't do anything. She could still talk
Mm-hmm.
and be active, uh, just not really draw. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of nuance to that story, which I go into in my own video. And since then, like, I've only found more and more evidence to suggest that, you know, it was something that she was actually really supportive of, that she liked, or I think in Fruits Basket fan book, Cat, I believe it was, which I bought after I made that video. She just admitted to, like, oh, I haven't seen 2001 yet, but I wish I was there to like appreciate it more in the moment, or something like that.
Mm.
Basically, she had not seen it when that interview was being written.
Yeah. It's a very popular rumor, though, and I am a little sad that you've debunked it, if only because it ruins one of my go-to jokes. Um, which is, if I had a nickel for every time, a mangaka didn't like Akitaro Daichi's adaptation of their series, I would only have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Um,
Oh man.
so now
I
I've only
remember
got
this
one
one.
nickel. And even that, we don't have like verifiable proof. It's a vibe.
It's all right.
So
It still works.
it's all right. I'll just have to retire
But
it.
either way,
It's my last
it's
time
still
getting
a
to tell
case where
it.
like the author was actively a fan of Akitaro Daichi before the anime was put into production, because it's the same thing with Kodocha. Like Miho Obana and Daichi, they're both close friends still to this day. Natsuki Takaya was a fan and wanted Daichi to be the director of Fruits Basket. That is a thing that is said in, I forget exactly what issue of New Type USA it is. It's sourced in my video, but
Mm-hmm.
I have that in the video. Like, you know, uh, if she hates the adaptation, she only has herself to blame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. It is the 2001 Fruits Basket. I think the only thing I'm trying to remember where I read it, because I feel like it was an author's note, was a complaint that she had about them making Toru's eyes blue. But I'm really trying to remember where I read that. I
Yeah,
don't feel like it was
that really
hearsay.
confused me as someone who watched the 2019 version a few years ago for the first time, and then I vaguely remember the original anime. I just never
Mm-hmm.
watched it back in the day. And then like I saw artwork of Toru from that version and I was like, why is her eyes
Yeah, her
blue?
eyes are blue, and the way they wrap up the True Form arc, which is the end of that anime, is a little weird. There's like Akito is there for some reason and like a little antagonistic, but since they weren't getting any more episodes, it does make a fine enough ending for that as like a series.
Yeah,
But
well, the ending they did like plan. They had two cores, and they were just
yeah,
gonna make the series with that, and they
yeah.
weren't really planning on making more afterwards. And there's been interviews with Daichi after since,
Mm-hmm.
where he like keeps saying like, yeah, there's not going to be more, because like we already did what we wanted to do. And like for me at least, the original Fruits Basket, again, I haven't seen the entire 2019 anime. I haven't read
Yeah,
all
it's
of the manga
good.
just yet, but
It's
I'm
also
sure
very
it's
good.
amazing. But as for now, like the 2001 anime, like it's kind of all I need. I'll
Hmm.
read it eventually, but
Yeah.
I like what they did. I think
I
they made something really special in those 26 episodes.
yeah, I was gonna say it definitely it stands on its own. I do think I think you will find the manga and the 2019 adaptation very satisfying. In terms of like giving some closure to some of those characters and also just like getting to see some of that development. That's I think is what's missing from the original anime adaptation is it really only covers the first like what sixth fifth of the series. Like it's
Yeah,
the true
no,
form arc is very early on.
we were actually talking about this the other day because I was really trying to push them to read and finish
Yeah.
Fruits Basket.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely. I'm
I
literally
remember that.
rereading it right now because
I
it's so
actually
good.
own all of the manga. I
Hmm.
didn't want to like read it right now because I finished Chobits recently, which I talked about.
Yeah.
And like after that, I was like, I kind of want to read like a shonen or something like that, because I haven't read much shonen, and that's just what I was
Fair.
in the mood for. I was asking around for um like what I should read from some friends. Game Boy Lad told me to read 20th Century Boys, and I was like, sure, I'll give that a try. I've like seen Master Keaton and Monster. Haven't actually read any of Naoki Urasawa's works, and I've read a little bit of it. It's cool. I like it. Don't have too much to say about it right now, other than I feel like I know what the general like theme of the series is going to be, like reclaiming something, which I think is good. I don't know. I'll continue reading that. I'll read Fruits Basket eventually, and a lot more stuff in general as I've gotten a bit more into reading manga. Something I did actually read in between, and Ari, I definitely think you should read this one, is My Lovesick Life as a 90s Otaku,
Okay.
which the way I would describe it is it's very like interpersonally multidimensional, because it's basically a lot of the author sort of self-reflecting on her days growing up like in the 90s and this period, but also like her life currently having a child. It time skips a lot around um, from like childhood to parenthood, and the common through line is like having anime and stuff like that, being a present part in your life, and how sort of detrimental it can be to push away things that are very core to your like being. And so it has like an element of otaku graduation to it, but it's like not undermined, but like she comes to the conclusion that no, this actually is something that is really important to me, as she has a child. Her child like gets really into this stuff and like gets her into it, back into it as a result. One of my favorite parts of the manga, and this isn't like a spoiler or anything like that, is when the daughter is telling her mother to like get back into drawing, and her mother is like, oh, I don't know, my art style is so like wonky and old. And then her daughter is like, oh no, it's totally cool, like Heisei retro is in right now. And she's like, retro.
Oh, oof, ow. I mean, it's all true to life, but I'm still like, ow.
How I
Yeah.
feel when people call MCR classic rock.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
But yeah, send me the
Yeah.
title, because I will not remember because my brain is just a fried egg
Yeah.
right now.
I'll say it for the audience right now, and then I'll link you guys it later. But
Please,
My
please.
Lovesick Life as a 90s Otaku. That's a really
That's
good
cute.
one. That's my manga recommendation for the day.
Nice.
I love it.
I was like, yeah, it sounds like a good time.
It's also very
Um,
short. It's like 4 volumes. You can read it in a day.
nice. Yeah, that's very doable. So, wouldn't
So,
mind getting some more information from you as like I guess more of a Daichi
actually, let me ask
scholar.
you. So, um, uh, Ari has told me that you're not the biggest fan of Daichi.
I'm not
Could you tell me like a little bit more, like why? What about his particular style doesn't resonate with you?
it's not so much his well, one, I just I think for me it does come down to the fact that I was watching an interview with him and he just doesn't seem to have a lot of respect for the source material of the works that he directs. And particularly with Kodocha, he was like, yeah, I kind of read it and then I like threw it to the side and did my own thing. And I was like, that just felt to me very disrespectful to what is kind of a defining work of Miho Obana's and also what is just like my favorite series of all time. And
Yeah, I know which
so,
one you're talking about.
yeah, you
Um, I
you've
think this
seen
is more of like being a creative myself and being a video editor and everything like that. Like having a lot of creative control is incredibly important to making a good product. And Daichi very much is someone who like doesn't always get it necessarily. Like he will read something and he will get an impression of what the story is about in the case of Kodocha, and then but like he won't just immediately make it after that. Like he will have consultants, he will have a lot of female staff actually like reading the source material and digging more deeply into it and like giving suggestions and everything like that. So it's a collaborative process of them creating this work. And it's the same thing with Fruits Basket, where he read it and he was like, I don't get it. And then like he had this other female staff member, I forget her name, it might have been the character designer actually, her reading it and like telling him about it and being like, oh, okay, I think I get it now. Which personally at least I related to that experience, because like when I first read or watched Fruits Basket, either of the two, I was like, I don't really like get it. But like when I heard that from him, it made me like look deeper into the series, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's more about like personal relationships, but also like working out each other's problems and exploring oneself like through other people. So Toru as a character is someone who opens up other people like a book, essentially. And that is the sort of appeal of the story. It's not really, you know, a lot of people like to read it for the romance, and I think even Takaya in the fan book, she was like, the interviewer asked her like what her like ship was or her favorite characters or something like that, and she was like, all of the characters are like different aspects of my own self, and so I can't really have a favorite character or a favorite ship because that goes against how I wrote the series. And that's at least how I read it and what I took out of the 2001 anime, which is what I really love about it. So it's definitely a big collaborative effort with everything that Daichi makes. And like he'll tell you that the best part of being a director is just sort of sitting back in the chair and telling people what to do. He's not like afraid of admitting that. So like a lot of what makes his series great is it's part of like what he brings to the table, obviously, but it's also how much creativity he gives to his own staff and how he approaches adaptation, which again like makes them pretty different in a lot of cases. I found that Fruits Basket was actually like not too different from the manga. I found that to be pretty accurate for the most part, personally. But he he approaches them in a different way from how I think a lot of people now tend to approach the act of adaptation, which is basically just using the manga as a storyboard, which I find totally boring and just not interesting in making a satisfying product that can stand on its own and will stand the test of time.
So it's interesting that you note that and found some, like, as a creative person, like found something in his process that really spoke to you. I I'm like, I have a degree in theater. That's my background. I was a director. That's what my degree is
Hmm.
in. With theater directing, like, you're always coming back to the text. Like, you riff on the text, you find new meaning in the text. Actors are so amazing. It's always so cool to see what they find with what's in a script, and how they're able to kind of make characters their own, which is why, you can see a play done by 4 or 5 different theaters and you'll have a different experience every time. And then there's also, like, something to be said for just live theater and the very communal, very personal experience that it is to experience that art form in one room with an audience, and it's going to be different every time. But at the same time, as a director, what you're trained to do is return to the text. That's your Bible. That's where you start from, and you can absolutely have your own take on it, and you will find different things in it. I think everybody does, but it's less about trying to make your own mark on it and more about trying to tell the story. And if you're looking at the Kodocha manga versus the anime, he just started telling a different story, and I prefer the one that's in the manga.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
think
I prefer the one that's in the manga largely as well. But again, as I mentioned in the beginning, I like that it's something different, which makes me be able to appreciate like both versions. Because like
Mm.
Daichi is an incredible director as well. I don't think anyone like so many of his series will have like a comedic scene, and then it will hard cut to like something really dramatic or traumatic, and like it just works every single time. Like he does a completely a complete emotional switch up, and you like buy it immediately because the performances are really strong. He works really closely with his voice actors. He like really knows how to set a scene. My favorite episode of Kodocha is, I think it's episode 6, the one where Akito is like crying on Sana's lap.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a really powerful moment. You were saying something, Ari. Sorry, I cut you
oh
off.
no, you're fine. No, no, I honestly like I just love listening to you because you're so passionate about it. But no, I was gonna say I think I going back to what Im said about directing. My dad was also a theater major, and I feel like I got a lot from him. Like he was very interested in the whole movie making process. So naturally, like I kind of have that interest as well. Definitely not as strong as him, but as a director, if you're, especially if you're adapting a book or anything, like I feel like yes, it's definitely your Bible. But I also think that a director is always still going to have their own interpretation on the source material. I feel like no matter what you do, like it's going to be different depending on who's in that director's chair. And honestly, I've been thinking about it, probably because it's been a thing that they've been pushing lately, but they have that whole Harry Potter reboot that they're coming out with.
Mm-hmm.
So, I when I was a little girl, I loved Harry Potter. And, I always wondered, like the tone of the movies always felt so different, once they got a little older. And I got really into researching like the directors for the movies. And, while they were adapting the same thing, the feels of the movies, depending on the director, is just so vastly different in those movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, yeah, you can try to adapt it beat for beat, but I feel like there's always going to be something that is the director's own interpretation or flair to it.
Or his own staff, because it's never really like just the director doing everything. Like obviously, if you don't have a great staff as well, then you're not going to come out with anything really good, because you can have a really good vision, but you need people around you who can bring that vision to life.
It takes a village.
That is true.
All right, well, this has been a very interesting episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we managed to get a little bit more of the actual topic in at the end.
Welcome to 19
be
o'clock
fine.
news. We do this all the time.
Yes. No, it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add other than thank you for coming on today.
Yes.
I knew that this would be a really interesting thing to get into because your research that you do for anime, your videos, like it blows me away. You do such good research, and I thought, that would be something really cool to bring onto the show. So thank you for coming on today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely.
Every single video that I make is just a vehicle for me doing editing and things that I find cool, but also B, spreading propaganda. So the Precure video, yeah, it's a documentary on how the series was created, but really what that video actually is I watched Tomorrow's Naja and I really loved it, and I wanted to talk about it in the context of like how Precure was created. I think Precure is like fine. I like most of the series, just okay enough, but Naja was really good. I liked Vampire Dormitory that was airing at the time, and so if you watch that video, I hope you take away that Doremi and Naja are really good, and you can also watch Precure too.
Fair enough.
The Fruits Basket video is just me like talking about Daichi and how much I like him, and we didn't even get into the controversies
No,
that he got himself into, but that's a whole thing too. But
it
yeah,
is.
all of my videos like have like a message to them that I want to try to send out. That's my main sort of motivation for making videos, aside from me finding video editing fun. That's basically what my next video is just going to be about. It's just going to be me spreading more bullshit propaganda, conspiracy theories that I've been brewing in my head over the past like 5 years. Really over the past like my whole lifetime, because it's all stuff that I think about all the time, and
I'm excited.
I want to try to push the community forward. I'm tired of us having the same fucking conversations over and over again every single fucking week about the same few topics. We need to move on.
Yeah,
No,
I agree.
That's why I make videos.
Well, it's been great to have you here too. It's a valuable perspective, and it's just obviously very different from mine. You and I see see things very differently. Ari, I think, has done a really lovely job refereeing that today.
Yeah,
because I'm like a known hater. So
that's part of
like,
why
this is good. This is good for me.
Yeah, that's part of why I wanted to bring you on, because we kind of we shit talk Daichi a little bit, and
and you can like if you like something that I don't, or vice versa. Like I think it's important to talk about those things as well and really understand other perspectives. I totally sympathize with Daichi haters, but I'm on Team Daichi all the way.
I wouldn't say that when it comes to his creative visions, I do appreciate his sense of humor. But, I've just seen so many things about him that just, just makes me happy sigh. And,
yeah,
it's one of those things that, like, love the art, don't like the artist kind of thing.
He's a problematic favorite for sure.
Yeah.
A nice way of phrasing it. Yeah, we could get into it all day, but it has been really awesome getting to talk with you. And I also I so respect just because it's not easy to research within anime, just because there is that language barrier. Our credible sources are so few, really, that are available to us in English. And so the fact that you've kind of gone above and beyond and really finding that information and having info to back up your opinions, because there's so much.
Thank you. It took me a day of reading New Type USA to find out that Natsuki Takaya actually wanted Daichi to direct Fruits Basket, and no one else had fucking found that in the however many years since that show came out.
Exactly.
One day.
Yeah. So I do appreciate that you put in the time, because I think a lot of people just, I'm like, I come here with my biases and I repeat them regularly. So
yeah, it is very easy to fall into, you have a certain way of understanding things, or a certain way you view something, and it's hard for a lot of people to really budge beyond that. But I think it's important to really challenge the way you think about certain things, and try to see new perspectives on things, and try to be as developed and multidimensional of a person as you can be. And that just goes for anything socially.
Well said. So thank you again for making the time today. We really appreciate it. I think the only other business I would have to mention is, hello, dear listeners. Kodocha is now available to watch on Crunchyroll. So everybody go watch Kodocha on Crunchyroll. That way they'll put up season 2.
Please, please, please. And maybe I'm being delusional, but let me be delusional. Maybe if it has good viewership, maybe they'll see that and be like, hey, let's do an anime reboot or a reprint of the manga.
Yeah. Let us stream. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Then there will be 3 cakes.
Yes.
There you go. That's a nice way to think about it. Anything else to add, or?
Yeah, I wish we could sit on for another hour, honestly. But we'll
truly,
we'll definitely do something this summer, maybe at some point.
Yes, we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, we'll have to kill each other on that live stream you were mentioning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Can't wait. All right, friends. Well, thank you again for joining us, and thank you, friends, for listening.
Nice.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to 19 O'Clock News, a Kodocha podcast.
19 O'Clock News is hosted by That Kodocha Girl and Mahou Shoujo M.
We love making new friends. Feel free to join us in the Kodocha Discord under Kodocha_media.
19 O'Clock News is not affiliated with any current or previous rights holders to Kodomo no Omocha by Miho Obana.